Welcome to the most insane modded Valheim you will ever see. From seasons that actually impact the world to dramatic terrain generation in a world full of insane 5-star creatures and bosses, along with the deep north and even the chance for PvP when it matters most. Welcome back to the Valheim modded series. This is going to be a very exciting and busy episode, so let's get straight into it. But before we get started, I want to thank you guys so much. We made it to 2,000 subs, but we are currently trying to make it to 5,000 subscribers. So if you aren't subscribed and you would like to help me get there, that would mean a lot to me. And thank you guys all so much for watching. Now today we have, like I said, a ton of stuff. We got the traders last episode, and Jake is making a ton of progress, but he is off right now, which gives me the opportunity that I may be able to very soon do bone mass, and he may head for motor soon, which means I need to be able to stop him. And while that is kind of stressful, it could make for a very exciting episode if everything goes how I think it's going to. But first we need to get geared up. I have almost everything ready for bone mass. We have a portal over there from last episode, and I think we can make final preparations and start going over there, and that will put us somewhere or somewhat caught up with Jake, because we can start getting silver while he's offline. And if he does decide to go for motor, it will be more of a fight than he thinks it's going to be, because I think in his mind he said it's not going to be a fight at all. If he does go for it, he's just going to be able to do it. Now I also haven't found motor, which is something that I have to do this episode, and I know he did, and he said it's pretty far away. Now I don't know whether to believe that or not, but that's all the only info that I have right now. So we're gonna get ready for bone mass, and as soon as we do get ready, I'm gonna go back to base and see what I need. We're gonna, like I said, we have a portal up to close by a mountain, and we're gonna run up the mountain and 1, look for motor, 2, start getting silver and try and catch up to Jake while he's offline, because that's really the only way that we're gonna be able to catch up at all. While I finish smelting everything up to finished, or to get my mace upgraded, to get my poison potions, I'm kind of waiting for them to finish, at least some extra ones. And also I'm going to cook some food. I do also want to talk about the fact that I do have the plan to upgrade the base quite a bit more. This big hill down there, I kind of want to make into like a giant, I don't know, almost like hole where I can put my base around, like surrounding it. So we'll have like a base like surrounding a big pit is kind of what I want. And then we could put like a farm in the pit and maybe some animals and a whole bunch of other stuff. That's at least what I want to try and do. But for now, I just have a little bit of the wood expanded out just so we can see, like I said, just so I can see about how big I want to make it. And so we're probably going to work on that. In between us getting silver and stuff, we'll probably try and expand the base a little bit, because getting a really good farm up is going to be part of our progression, and we're going to absolutely need it. It's not even a question, especially once we get deeper into the plains and stuff, we're going to need it. That being said, I also do have a plains section next to my base that I can build a farm in, so we may do that as well. But we have our mace fully upgraded. Our potions are almost made. We have a modded cape that gives us even more poison resistance, and then we have a armor set that gives us extra mace damage and extra mace skill, so we'll hit faster, use less stamina, all that kind of stuff when using maces. So this bone mass fight, as long as we don't get a really stupid one, should be fairly easy. Now I don't, like I said, we'll see, but we could get a really hard one to kill. Remember, this is modded. We do have a lot of really crazy stuff, so we're gonna get everything prepared. We're gonna make sure that I'm gonna make sure that I have everything absolutely ready, and then we are gonna head straight over to bone mass, assuming I don't find something else to do. Alrighty, we have everything prepared. There is a couple things that we need to clear out around the edge of the bone mass spawner, like the skeletal mage. I cleared an abomination and a couple other things, but the skeletal mage is going to be the last really big one that I'm worried about, because these things do a ton of damage and drop shit from the sky, which is not something I want in the middle of my fight. However, once we get this guy down, it is pretty much time for us to go do it. We have our poison potion on, we have all of our poison resistant stuff, we have our armor, our mace. This should be a really easy fight. Like I said, as long as we do not get a bad bone mass. What are we going to get? What are we going to get? Please don't be bad. Please don't be mending. That's the worst one that we could possibly get. Please don't be a high star. Okay, we got a 1 star, and it's shielded, which means it's gonna take a lot less damage, but we're doing critical hits to it, or it's weak to our stuff. We're just gonna sit here and pretty much dodge and whack. We have the poison resistance, so we can pretty much just hit through every attack, and as long as we keep our stamina up, this should be a really easy fight. But the only thing, like I said, is it is shielded, which means this is gonna take a lot longer than it would have. We are actually doing really decent damage, but that's because we have a tier 4 upgraded iron mace. If this wasn't a shielded one, this fight might have already been close to over. This fight can be extremely quickly if you know exactly what you're doing with it, but this isn't too bad. Also, the 1 star means that I will probably get a couple different wishbones or a couple different heads, which is sick, because while I can hang one on the altar, I may be able to keep one at my base, which, you know, I might want to do at some point. I may want to just keep a set of them at my base, and then other than that, yeah, all I'm gonna really have to do is just keep dodging and hitting for this one. This is not gonna be the most exciting boss fight. Jake isn't on right now, and neither is anybody else. I'm the only person on the server when doing this, which is kind of a bitch move to hide it, but I'm tired of getting my stuff taken like on the elder, and I want to make sure that the next boss fight that anybody gets anything taken from is when Jake does motor. So I have to absolutely do this when everybody's offline in order to keep myself safe. Like I said, I know it's a little bit of a bitch move, but gotta catch up, gotta do what I gotta do. So this is what I'm choosing to do. Also on top of this, like I said, we have a mountain portal set up, and I have frost meats going back at base as well as some from the last winter period on the server. So we are actually going to be set up to go right into the mountains after this and maybe catch right back up to Jake, because I know he has not done motor yet. So that is going to be, like I said, one of probably the best things that we can do is just get caught up to him. That way, if he does go to do motor, and if also we can find the location, it'll be pretty easy to go counter him, because that nothing has made me want to counter him more. Like, I don't want to do anything on the server more than counter Jake after he messed up my elder. So we're going to get this boss fight finished, assuming nothing exciting happens. If we die or something, I'll show it. But other than that, we're just going to keep damaging it out like I am now. And then we'll be back once we get it killed. We'll see if we get any good drops from it. And then we're going to move on to the mountains and also expanding our base for the day. All right, it's really only been 2 minutes from the last clip if you look at my poison meat resistance time and all that stuff, but I have not died. This is a super easy fight. We got tons of bone mass shards. We got the recipe for the boss weapon, but we did not get it. But like I said, we got the bone mass shards to be used for the magic stuff at some point in time. And then also, yes, we got it down. Those are biggest things. So we got our wishbone. We're gonna go back to base. We're gonna throw this on the altar so that way we can get probably my favorite ability in the game, at least in early game. And then we are gonna, like I said, make final preparations for the mountain. I don't know that I really need that much more, but I may still need a couple things. So we're going to see if I need anything else to go to the mountains, get it set up. And then, like I said, we also may decide to do some base improvements because we are now kind of caught up to Jake. Assuming that I can find motor and get a decent weapon, I'm actually going to lean towards base improvement, but I need to do that kind of stuff first. But yeah, if I can do that stuff, I'm not worried. Like I said, I don't want to do motor before Jake does it. I want him to do it, and I want to catch up to him and kill him in the middle of it and take it from him. Jake set a precedent when we did Elder, and I just want to make sure that that's acknowledged. Now, also the precedent that Jake set when we did Elder, he also made sure to give me part of it back. So if I get all of it from him, I will probably give him a section of his back, only because he decided to be so nice. Also, I don't know if I mentioned it in the last episode, but I found the location for Yagluth while I was running through the plains. Or maybe that was earlier today. I really don't remember when I found that, but I did find it, and it's on my map, so we have that as well now. When we go to the plains, we're gonna have Yagluth's location. It's actually fairly close by. I should be able to almost just run to it. So, like I said, we're gonna get this put up on the altar. We're gonna get everything ready for mountain, and then we're gonna head up. There's one by the trader that I think that's the same one that Jake has been in, and so hopefully we can find at least whatever stone he found to show him Elder, and then we can start getting a portal set up over there. Hopefully it's not too far. Like he said, it is far, but I don't really believe him. So we're gonna go see if we can get that set up, get some silver, and then we'll head back to base and see where we're at. Okay, we are up on our first mountain. I actually already died a few times on it, and this is a really small mountain next to our base. Now, this wasn't the one I was planning on going to, but since I had to go down to the trader anyways, I figured why not come up here and at least see if there was silver, as it would be pretty easy to get and go back to base with it. As well as it, like I said, it was really close. It wasn't going to require much running, and I was already down here. But I can at least get some Drake trophies, maybe the stuff for some ice cream. I know I can't make it yet because I don't have the silver, but hopefully we'll be able to find at least a couple things up here if we can't find any silver, maybe a frost cave or something. But if not, we're going to head over to that other one because that's probably going to be our best bet at any amount. And I also haven't really seen the other one, so I'm kind of excited. I have mentioned a few times on the server, we have a terrain generation mod that changes how dramatically the terrain generates. And I honestly think that it could be one of the most insane things if we get a sick mountain biome. And I know Jake was talking about that one was really cool near his base, and that's kind of close to his base, so hopefully that is the mountain biome that I can like kind of showcase as part of the mods, because if the way Jake made it sounded really awesome. Okay, though it is nighttime, I have opted for a bigger and better mountain. There's one right next to the trader, and since Jake gave me access to his trader portal as I did for mine, I should be able to just run up this mountain and place my own private portal up here. But I assume that this could be the same one that he explored to find motor, at least. At least that's a fair assumption for now, because I don't know of any other mountains. When I ran all the way to the smoldering tomb on the other side of the map during the winter when I could run on the ice, I couldn't really find anything. There wasn't any other mountains that I saw other than this set behind the trader, so this is really my only option. So we're gonna get up here, get a portal set, and then probably go back to base and wait for daytime. And once it's daytime, we'll come up here and actually look at it, because hopefully, like I said, this is the really epic one that Jake found earlier in the playthrough. This is absolutely the cinematic masterpiece that Jake found. It's kind of hard to showcase exactly what it looks like without it being daytime and super clear. The way that like Valheim kind of blurs the distance makes it a little hard, but we're gonna be in it quite a bit, so hopefully you guys will see a really clear image of it at some point. It is a like giant cinematic mountain circle though, with black forest like bowl in the middle. It almost looks like a giant ice volcano with black forest in the middle. It kind of looks insane. If there was an Ashlands up here, it would be the coolest thing ever, but it looks pretty sick. I'm kind of excited about that. So hopefully this is where the motor fight is, because this will be the most cinematic point in the series by far. Other than this though, I am gonna go up here, see if I can find any silver. I'm sure I'll die a few times, but I don't really need to show that too much because it's just gonna be me running back from my body. But if I can find silver or motor location or any sign that Jake has been up here, I will definitely show you guys, because that is the only things that we are looking for, other than maybe a frost cave as well. All right, we are sending it far across the mountain now. We've died a few times, but we've also gotten quite a few pings for silver, as well as found some onion seeds and some useful resources that we will be able to utilize at some point, just not right now, as I'm going to keep using the frost meads for the second being. But we've gotten a couple pings for silver that I'm going to mark out on my map as I find them. That way I know where I can get it at. But I do see a structure over here that I can hopefully find motor in, which, like I said, if I can find the motor location, I might go back to base improvement for now. Holy shit. Oh, this is where Jake was at. This is where his silver, that might have been where both of his silver veins were. So we need to okay, this is going to be, there's a campfire in this building too. This is exactly where Jake is at. Okay, and we also have more silver right here. This is kind of insane. We might mine the silver from right next to Jake's, but I almost don't want to show him that I've been over here. Yeah, this is the motor location. Where is this thing at? It's okay. It is not far. It is right here. This is exactly where motor's going to take place. This giant cinematic mountain bowl is going to be exactly where it takes place. I need to go back, hopefully get some of the silver. I need to go back and get some of the silver closer to my portal, because that I don't want Jake to know that I've been over here. I know there's some right here, but ideally, if I cannot affect the area at all, give him no clue that I know where it's at, and make him think that I'm still in iron, there's a good chance that I may be able to sneak on him later, because I think he's about ready for motor. And if he is, I'm going to have a crossbow as well as some other stuff ready for him when he does it. Okay, we also found an ice cave right next to our portal, but man, guys, look at this mountain range. This is one of the most insane terrain generation things I've ever seen. Now, I'm sure this is possible in regular Valheim, but this terrain generation mod, like I said, it just makes more dramatic terrain. It's just awesome. It does mess up a couple things with other modded stuff, so be careful using it if you guys do, but holy crap, this is amazing. This looks so cool. This is going to be such an epic motor fight later. All I need to do now is, like I said, kind of slow back down, get some progression stuff done, maybe make some really good food so I actually have a chance at killing motor when Jake's gone, because the idea is going to be to either kill Jake or cause him to get killed, maybe distract him or lure stuff to him, and then when he's dead, finish motor off and take the stuff and run. So we're going to try and get like almost caught up to Jake, or almost even past him, get completely set up to where I would be comfortable doing motor, and then wait for the perfect time to strike, which could be in a couple hours, but it could be any time now, because he is going to be back on soon. All right, we have a silver vein right next to our base. We will probably have to go back and get some more weight, clear some inventory room, and just kind of, you know, make it so we can carry as much stuff back as possible, and also repair our pickaxe at some point after we get this mined out. But we have silver. Now it's time to kind of decide what I want to build. Now I don't have to only decide one thing. I can make as many different things as I want, but like I said, Jake's going to be back on soon, so ideally I get a bow or some ranged weapon first, and then I can start working on the other weapons if I want them for now. But because he's going to be on, I need to get as much stuff. I need to get as good of a weapon as I can. Like I said, something that I would be comfortable fighting motor with, which is either going to be a bow, but we do have the option for a silver crossbow in our mod. And if it looks really good, I might honestly use that. Also because being able to shoot an absolute laser beam is going to be one of the best possibilities to kill Jake. And the knockback on it could knock him off the mountain and get him killed to fall damage, meaning I wouldn't even have to worry about how much armor he has. So that may be the play, but I need to get all this silver. Like I said, I need to get my inventory cleared out and mine a whole bunch of it, get our pickaxe repaired, and kind of, I mean, I got a lot of stuff from the mountain biome that I need to put into our chests, because I just need to organize everything in general. Then we should be able to actually start working on our silver stuff. So on top of that, I also think I forgot to mention, or maybe I did show it last episode, I made a really shitty tiny farm out front. Like, I know I'm talking about making this big one down below, but for now I did want the spice rack, so I went ahead and planted a few things out front, hoping they wouldn't get destroyed. But I'll probably throw my onions in there so I can get better food as well, because like I said, we're gonna also need really good food. I want everything, every feeling, all my armor, all my weapons that I could feel comfortable fighting motor with, and then we'll try and upgrade past it to where I would feel good fighting motor. But I just need to feel somewhat comfortable, because Jake is going to do most of the damage for me. I just need to make sure I can do the finishing him out once he's dead, if I can get him there. We are back at base, making major progress after getting a little bit of the silver. I haven't gotten the entire thing mined out, not even close, but I do have the ability to make my spice rack now. I'm going to upgrade this little cooking area, and then I also am smelting the first bit of silver, so I can at least get an idea of how much I need, how many things I'm going to have to break, and I can kind of just break it all and put it all in a chest and then run it back one piece or one section at a time. But I'm going to get probably all of it in one run, so I need to figure out how much I need, and getting these first couple pieces will tell me at least a general range of how much I'm going to need. On top of that, I do also have the ability to now make my butcher block with the silver, which means that I'll be able to get, again, a lot better food, upgrade this cooking area. We'll go from only being able to make like boar jerky to being able to make a shit ton of other stuff, so we're going to have a lot better access to food now. Jake is on, and he seems like he is preparing for motor. I'm going to have to get off soon, so hopefully he doesn't pull it while I'm offline, but I don't think he will. I think he knows that I want to fight, and I think he's going to let me have it. So we're going to get prepared. We're going to keep getting silver, but for now we have our first little bit. I'll kind of calculate how much I need for my armor and everything else, my set, pretty much my entire thing, and then we'll worry about, like I said, when Jake's going to do it, because I think he is still going to be at least another minute. We're also going to get our onions and everything else planted to kind of progress. Like I said, we're gonna have pretty much normal progression from here on, but for now, we're waiting for Jake to start the fight. I'm gonna probably start making the actual base farm down below, at least clearing the area for it, even if I don't make it now, and then we'll worry about more progression stuff. But I'm gonna do that while my silver's smelting, so we should be progressing along the way. So we're gonna get our silver, start getting the area mined out for the farm, and then we'll be back when we have something interesting. But for now, it's just gonna be a bit of a grind and hoping Jake doesn't start it. It isn't nothing too exciting's happened yet. I feel like Jake is not going to do it this session while I'm on. Don't worry, we'll get to it this episode. But like for my current planning of this session, I'm just gonna have to build the base out because I'm pretty much waiting for silver to smelt. I'm just digging this hole. Like I said, I want this to be our farm at some point, so I'll show like what exactly I want that plan to look like. It'll be honestly giant and look really epic, but we're gonna start digging it out. We may not make it into anything yet, but getting some of the work done will make it easier for us later. And then yeah, I'm just waiting for silver to smelt. I have an idea. I think I'm gonna make the crossbow once I get everything ready for it, and then Jake's not gonna do it this play session for me, but it'll be this episode for you guys. So I am probably, like I said, I'm gonna just kind of get everything ready, get everything smelted up for my current day, and then I'll get off for a little bit, and hopefully when I'm back on, Jake will be ready to do it, and he will go for it. Like I said, he doesn't seem to think that I know where it's at. He seems pretty cocky about getting it done really quickly, and I'm honestly feeling really good about sabotaging him because I want him to feel the way I did with Elder. Not too bad, just a little bummed out that it happened. So we're gonna get everything ready, get ready for that, and then hopefully, like I said, when we get back on later, if anything exciting happens, I'll show you guys, but other than that, we're just kind of waiting to get our stuff ready and wait for Jake to start it. All right, I am back on for my next play session. Jake is actually off right now, which kind of makes me think that the tension may actually hold over into tomorrow. He said he had to get off and that he might not be back on for the night, which kind of sucks a little bit, but it's nothing too big because it just gives me more time to, like I said, build up my base, chill for a little bit, and get as prepared as I possibly can. So we're going back. I have 2 silver nodes marked out, and I have 3 marked out on the map, 2 that are already, we have like holes mined around them, and I'm just going to start mining these out, getting everything back to base and building everything that I possibly can. We're pretty much ready to build our armor set. We do need some stuff from the frost caves to build our armor set and some of the weapons. That's just how the modded sets work. So we'll have to go get some Fenris hair, some red jute, all that kind of stuff to build our weapons and armor. But that's pretty much going to be all that we need to do. We have a couple ice caves marked out as well, so that shouldn't be too bad. It's just going to be a bit of grinding, a bit of chilling. But like I said, Jake is off, and I don't know that he's going to be back on tonight. So for the time being, this just may be what we do. Like I said, I'm not going to do this without Jake starting it first because I want to interrupt him. And while I could probably beat him to it, I don't really want to. Now, there is the option that I beat him to it and then also interrupt him, which would be kind of funny because I'd have plains weapons, but I'm not in that big of a hurry. I want to build my base out. I kind of want to wait for him to do it, and I don't want to skyrocket too far past him. I know it seems like I would want to do that, but honestly, I kind of want it to be a fun, fair, scary fight where we're very close together in progression. So I'm gonna not do that while he's offline. I'm just gonna kind of wait, expand my base, and get my stuff ready to sabotage him. And hopefully, like I said, he'll be back on later. But if he's not, we may have to wait till next episode to fight it. We're also gonna try and get some portals set up over on the motor spawner. I haven't actually really been over there yet, and while I don't want it too close because I don't want him to be able to look around and find it, I will also have a bit of time to get over there, like once he starts it. So once he starts it, I'll get the message. It'll probably be a fairly hard fight because it'll be starred or have something about it, some attribute, and then we'll probably make our portal pretty far and run over there and place it closer once he's there, place some beds down, get a whole bunch of stuff set up while he's fighting it, and then try and swoop in at that last section to get him killed, motor killed, or take all of it, or even do all of those things at once. Once again, silver is smelting, everything's back in base. We are definitely going to be making the crossbow and maybe even the Draugr Fang if we have enough after making our armor set. We may even make a crystal battle axe or something else. A good part about Jake being off for so much of the night, it meaning that I will be able to catch up to him pretty confidently. I'm not going to have to just rush and only have one weapon. I'll be fairly set up when I get there, which is pretty much the best thing I could do for myself. But also, I have this awesome base expansion going up. A lot of this series has been based on the PvP aspect and a lot of the crazy shit going on between me and Jake and all the progression and all the crazy modded shit and the terrain generation, but there is some really cool building stuff we have too, and a lot of farming and taming stuff that we can get as well. So I'm going to start getting this built up because a really good farm along with our plant everything mod is going to be one of the most useful things in this playthrough. So getting this set up is honestly, like I said, it's going to be one of the best things we can do. We're going to build out this. I want to like make a whole stone wall down inside of there and around the back edge, and then have another layer of the base built up just like this layer is, like the 3-story section, all the way out on these wooden platforms that I'm building out. So I don't know what I'm going to put in all of this stuff, but sometimes I just build the build. If I may build it to be decorated, that's what it can be. It's going to look pretty awesome. It should be one of the coolest bases I've ever built, and honestly, that's fine. If that's what I get to spend my night doing, I'm not going to be upset. We are waiting generally for, like I said, silver just got done smelting. We have a ton of it. We're going to build the Fletcher tables so we can have our crossbow. We'll upgrade it so that way we can have an upgraded crossbow and an upgraded Draugr Fang, because our Fletcher table is our modded bow table that that we need for that kind of stuff. And then, yeah, outside of that, it's not going to be, like I said, the most exciting rest of the night. We are definitely going to open up next episode with a motor fight, though. So when we get to talking about next episode, hopefully that's what we'll be able to open up with, is a giant motor fight. Very dramatic. Jake won't know we're there. If he does know we're there, we're just going to start messing him up quickly, and maybe we can sneak in and grab it right as he kills it. Or, like I said, lure something over to get him killed as motor's low health. We'll have to make a plan when we get there. But for now, that's kind of what it looks like. It looks like we're going to finish up, build this base section this episode, get everything very organized and upgraded, and then as soon as we start next episode, Jake should be back on and starting motor, which means we'll pretty much be set up to interrupt as perfectly as we'll be able to. All right, we're getting very close to the end of the episode here, but I want to show you guys this and a lot of other stuff before I do. So this is what the base is going to look like when it gets sectioned off. We're going to build these giant Odin Plus walls around the entire base of this. They'll be attached to the ground because it's kind of dug into the ground, so they'll have perfect foundation support. These ceilings up here will have perfect foundation support, and it'll be an honestly pretty well supported thing, which means we'll be able to make it very tall around this inside section. It'll almost look like a giant pit with fire and the plants and a whole bunch of awesome crazy shit. We want to make it look as decorated and awesome as possible. I have a picture in my mind for what I want it to look like, but I honestly kind of just want to show you it as I build it out, so I'm not even going to show you the picture in my mind. But yeah, we're going to get this built up. This is what it's going to look like, just this giant stone walls around the edge for now, and then we'll get it cultivated out, we'll decorate it, we'll add some cool stuff around the edges, we'll build up the top section, but that's all going to happen just as we do the playthrough. For now though, we built our Fletcher table, we built our silver crossbow, we explored a couple of the frost caves, but really nothing too exciting happened. It was just shooting stuff with arrows for multiple hours on end. So that's where we're at about now. I think next episode though, Jake is going to be ready for motor and we're going to be ready for him, so look forward to that. We're going to get this built up next episode. Like I said, this is going to be one of the sickest builds that I've ever had, and I know it hasn't been the main focus of the series so far, but I promise it is going to be awesome. So we're going to get everything. We're going to spend the rest of the night kind of mining out this and messing with it and getting some stairs built up and stuff, and just getting everything ready to build. That way when we do get done with motor, we can do that, and hopefully next episode we'll be able to take it from Jake. And so stay tuned, hit up next episode for that, because we are going to be fighting Jake. It is going to be epic on that giant mountain bull. It's going to be probably one of the most cinematic things that we've ever had in the series, so make sure to stick around for that, make sure to come back for that. But that is going to be it for this episode. As I mentioned at the beginning, I'm currently trying to make it to 5,000 subscribers, and if you guys could help me get there, that would mean a lot to me. Thank you guys so much for the support on the series, and thank you guys so much for watching. I do truly hope you enjoyed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.